I'm gonna really get into this, man, because it got all the treaties. It got the history of Babylon, bro. All Babylons, for real.
Oh, yeah. Babylon is really, today.
Like ancient Babylon, you know what I'm saying?
They say somewhere like...
Yeah, I saw it, Jones.
Sudan or
something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not Sudan, Sudan. I don't know, somewhere like that. Somewhere. Alright. We live.
What's up? He's over there? He's over there? Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. He's over there.
Let's get it, bro.
Yeah. Towards his coffee maker.
It's like this way.
I think it's over there. It's like over there, yeah.
Alright, Shalom.
Shalom, bro.
We are Israelites to come to teach the truth of the Bible and tell the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans your nationality and heritage. And teach the truth of the Bible. Alright, but before that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Bahar, Kakodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles from Apostle Hara on down, and peace and blessings to the elect. So today's lesson, you can see from the title, we can go into how Babylon is our wilderness, where we purge out our faults, our iniquities, our sins, and all of those things. Just how our ancestors did in the time of the exodus of Egypt, when we were in the wilderness for 40 years or so. That's basically when the Most High was purging out all the bad seeds of Israel, those that had basically emotional and physical attachments. I should say emotional attachments to Egypt, and they did not want to let it go. And when you go into the story of Exodus, long story short, all the people that came out, most of the people that came out of Egypt, they were looking back. You know, they were thinking about their old lives. They were thinking about their comforts and the life that they lived in Egypt. And they like, damn, well, Moses, you done dragged us out of Egypt, you know, to be living in the wilderness and dwelling in tents and, you know, eating manna and, you know, and basically struggling in comparison to what we had in Egypt.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
We could tip it off with this, just because we was talking about it before, and we could just set the mood. It's Exodus 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 11 in the NLT. It says, and they said to Moses, the nation of Israel, this is during the Exodus as we were just speaking on, in its title, the Egyptians pursue Israel, right? It says, why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? It says, weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you that this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It is better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness.
That just goes to show you the state of our people, bro.
Yeah.
That same mentality is the same mentality you see here today, bro. And nothing has ever changed. Our people would much rather live an oppressive lifestyle here in America where you're underpaid, overworked, underappreciated, the food is poisonous, the air is poisonous, the clothes are poisonous, the lifestyle is poisonous. You wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, repeat, and you're struggling. You can barely afford the necessities to live, let alone freaking dainties and pleasures. That's out the window. People have to struggle just to have pleasure. You know what I mean? They have to sacrifice. They don't want to pay my electric bill, or don't want to buy me some new shoes. Do I want to go out and enjoy this? I got invited out. Do I want to do that or pay my electric bill? People shit getting cut off. So our people would much rather live in this lifestyle because they have comforts. You know, they got roofs over their head. Versus when we tell them like, yo, America has to crash for us to have the kingdom to come, which is going to be eternal life and riches of beyond your wildest imaginations.
Yeah,
like
correct.
You'll be a god. We just got to get through a short period of time of anarchy and lawlessness and struggle, a little bit of struggle for a little bit. But guess what? If you're doing right by the Lord gonna do right by you. They can't fathom that. They would much rather be slaves to Babylon, slaves to Egypt, which said Babylon is New Egypt, right? The house of bondage. And we were kind of talking about before, a lot of our people don't even realize that they are oppressed here in America.
Bro, did you hear Salaki? Just the land back. You heard what Kim Jong-un said? That's the president of was it Japan? North Korea, Salaki, I stand corrected. He like, yeah, the people of America have been convinced that basically polygamy. They're basically justifying same-sex marriages, or rather than justifying polygamy.
This is
Like,
crazy.
yeah, like a man, like it's natural for a man to have more than one wives, biblically, and it makes more sense now. You know, just with the wisdom bestowed upon us. Plus, it was all about business. You know, it was just deeper than pleasure.
It was deeper than pleasure. Pleasure was a part of it, but you can have pleasure with just having one woman.
Exactly.
So
you know,
it's deeper than that.
everything must be done in decency and order.
Yep. Not even to get in that, but just real quick, just if this is America, and this is going to go into a point. America promotes struggle versus our culture and our custom promotes prosperity. So with polygamy, where is a man with multiple women, not a woman with multiple men or whatever. A man with multiple women, it could be 2, 3, 5, whatever is the lot for that particular family. You have a man that works. We're going to apply it to Babylon today. You have a man that works. Let's say he makes $70K a year. We're going to say 70. Decent, but you still got to be smart, right? Then let's say you got two wives. You got one wife that decides, you know what? I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna take care of the crib. You know what I mean? And maybe I might start a little side business I can do from home. Let's say she brings in $20K a year. And then you got the second wife who she also works a full-time job. Let's say she makes $60K. So now you got the man making 70, the woman making 60. Right, that's what 100 and what's that? 130,
60,
130.
Yep.
And then you got the stay-at-home wife who holds the crib down. She's cooking, she's cleaning. It's always fresh cooked meals when
the
husband.
kids.
She got the kids, so when the wife at work go out of work, you know what I mean. The wife at home can kind of step up for a little bit, make a little money while she out of work for the paternity, or maybe y'all been working. Both of y'all been working for years, for months, stacking bread up. Stacking bread. So then when she does end up going out on maternity, the wife that works,
She's good.
she's good because she can stay home for a year and a half before going back to work because we got money saved. And then you got wife at home, take care of the crib, so you never struggle. There's never, I need a break. Baby, you got your sister wife.
Right. Y'all can change shifts.
Y'all work shifts. Like,
Yeah.
all right, look, I got the kids tonight, you got the kids tomorrow. It's my night to get sleep, your night to get sleep. And then it's a cohesive environment that just works. There is no struggle because we all build. And then if you ain't got no kids, shit, all three of y'all could work.
Even better.
All three of y'all could work.
You know what I mean, not saying it's better, but it's like it's even more free time.
Right.
You know
Eventually, time's gonna come where the kids are gonna start getting to the play, but then you're gonna have a designated stay-at-home parent. But guess what? There is no struggle. You think about this situation. If I got a woman and kids now. We got 2 kids. I'm the sole income provider. So it's like, and then she, struggling, trying to find babysitters and this, and she's trying to do that, and I gotta work with imagine if you just had another person that was there, that's a full-time person there to support, bro. Like, it just works. But America has taught and has poisoned the minds of primarily the women, because most men are for it, 100%. Even men that be like, even men that talk shit. You know the pandering ass dudes on the internet. I don't desire. I want. Look, shut up. Stop trying to pander, bro. These women don't want you, bro. You know damn well if you had the opportunity to have 2 women that were down for you and that would care, you would take it 100% of the time.
You know what, man? To get on some carnal stuff real quick, man, from the mentality state, just keep this on topic, man. Straight to the point. The Fresh and Fit brother was talking about how it was like how men was like basically like women were saying that men and they got options or whatever, and they're only as good as the options around them, or what they can see, what they can afford. He said, "Yo, man, get that boy $2 million in Lambo, see what happened."
Yep.
It's the realest shit in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy thing about it is the women will tolerate it. I'm not going to say they'll accept it.
Yeah, but
women will tolerate it
that's
for a man with money and status.
Correct.
Under the conditions.
But under certain conditions. Mm-hmm. But a man with no money, or a man that doesn't reach have a certain echelon of money.
Right.
No, they're fuck that, I'm leaving. But a dude with millions and millions, and I can you upset? All right, here. I got a flight booked for you tomorrow to fucking Dubai for
Right.
2 weeks
And-
with no problem. You're not turning that shit down. You'll tolerate it, but eventually a woman will. There'll still be women manipulative and petty.
You a
But
prince. You a so-called prince of Dubai. She don't think you got other women.
This is how cooked our nation is though.
Right.
Women get tired of that because it's like they get tired. They not saying they get tired of the money, but they going to eventually want love because that's just going. Women get bored,
women
bro.
get bored very,
You know what I'm
very
saying?
easily.
And then she gonna end up with a nigga that ain't as financially stable, or he just an honest man working. Not saying that he ain't got no bag, but he might not be cheating on her. Or, you know, not saying we can't cheat, but he not dealing with other multiple women
society-wise
outside of her liking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This Hebrews 3:8 to get back on topic. It's harden not your hearts, as in the provocation and the day of temptation in the wilderness. And I brought that out because I want to get that word provocation. It basically goes into provoke, because that's what the Lord is. That's basically us, like the brother said. And this lesson is inspired by the elder Yashawama from the Dallas camp. They was kind of harping on this, basically saying that the wilderness was a purging. It was the purging for our people, and we in that time again today. And the Lord, by purging us, by making us uncomfortable, like we was just saying before we opened up, we all as a nation we was catching hell in Egypt, but it was jakes that had good jobs. Those was the main ones bitching in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. Like we just brought out Exodus 14. Like we would rather die in Egypt than die out here.
Right.
Like why you bring us out here? We was living good, type shit. It's the word for provocation. I'm gonna go to the root etymology: to provoke or exasperate, to rouse the indignation. That's what the Lord's doing to us. He's purging us. He's mortifying the members, as I believe Colossians says. Right? It's the leaven that leaven we got to get out of our spirit in order to flourish, man, and do the Lord's bidding to the best of our ability.
Oh, so that means, okay, that makes so much sense. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, bro.
That's incredible, because that means Egypt was like America then, bro. They was in Egypt doing a thing in some sort of a way that had them comfortable enough to be like, I'm good where I'm at. And then when they got kicked out, I get it.
The scriptures make a very clear correlation between ancient Egypt and modern day America.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's literally why it's spiritual Egypt, bro.
Yeah. And it also but remember, these lands are very similar, very
Uh-huh.
unique. But they call it Babylon because it's the land of confusion.
Right.
Which America is the land of confusion. That's one up it has in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that in Egypt is more closely synonymous with America because of the history, right? We were slaves in Egypt for 400
Literally,
years.
bro, that's the spirit. I was going to say
We
that.
were oppressed.
It's synonymous with our captivity.
Right,
It's
exactly.
more so in the mind.
And then Babylon, exactly. And Babylon is pretty much just like a blanket term, whereas Egypt is more definitive.
Mm-hmm.
Babylon is land of confusion. America is the land of confusion. You have nations from all over the world in a massive majority gathered in one land with dozens of different languages and religions and cultures, all in land of free. Everyone can do what they want, practice their own religion, freedom of speech, which really is not freedom of speech. Same-sex marriages. You can be what you want. You can be a cat. You can be a tree. You can be a caterpillar. You can be a fucking piece of wood. It doesn't matter. You have that liberty. That's Babylon, bro.
Which is why it says they shall be as Sodom.
Yep.
Literally, Sodomites.
Sodom.
That's
Sodom.
why we often call it spiritual Nineveh too.
Yep.
Let's not forget my man. Damn. What's his name? Jonah.
Jonah, yeah. If I say
Jonah.
Yes, for shit.
Why did he run from what the Lord told him to do? Nineveh was so wicked that they probably would have killed him if he would have went out there and prophesied, y'all wicked, the Lord gonna destroy this shit.
What?
It's America.
What are you talking about?
You can't go anywhere out there and preach. Like, if the Lord wills it, yeah.
Let us go to some
The trenches.
It's just not even just the trenches, because we might be good in the trenches. Let us go to the real trenches. We're not talking about the nigga.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
go to these sundown towns.
Yeah.
These sundown
Well,
towns
you know
down
you ain't
south
got no
somewhere.
business,
where
right.
in certain parts of Texas, where you go there as a so-called black Latino Native American, you go there when the sun go down, and it's nothing but hick Billy, camo hat wearing, you know that little camo jacket shit, hunting Edomites with 6-packs and big fluffy mustaches. Yo, you go out there wearing a garment talking about something. Yeah, you so-called white people are going into slavery. You will get lynched, bro.
Yeah, because
they gonna hang your ass.
They
bro.
literally beasts, bro. They reacting off an animal instinct.
Yep.
Motherfuckers got low IQ. You know what I mean? That's why just the Bible is coded, man. Genesis is heavily coded. You know, when he was going into how the first 7,000 years of creation, not to get too much into it, you know, I believe it was the 5,000 year when he was talking about he created the beasts of the land and, you know, the beasts of the sea. He was talking about people. Like, we were created as a multitude. Adam and Eve weren't the first ones created. He chose them out of the Adamites.
Out of the Adamites.
You know what I mean? But the beasts were the sons of the wicked and the sons of men that were fucking literally beasts. They were fucking retarded. Adam was given the spirit of the breath of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Sirach 17:1 going there, into that.
And everything after that comes the sons of God.
Come.
Yeah.
Yup, they were given that. They were, matter of fact, I'll get it real quick so we can keep rolling. Matter of fact, bro, you want to grab Proverbs 28, bro. What we can show.
Gotcha.
28 and 14. I'm going to get Sirach real quick. I like getting this in it.
And yo, real quick on that Jonah actually knew that Nineveh was so wicked.
Bro.
He fled because he knew the Lord was going to have mercy and not kill him, but Jonah wanted him to destroy it. So he's like, I'm not going over there to pop off and then tell them they're going to get destroyed and you're not going to do it. Like, for what? That's how he felt.
Being
He hated Nineveh. He hated it over there. I'm not going over there because it wasn't that they was going to kill him. It was the fact that he hated how wicked it was. He's a righteous dude. But he's like, yo, you going to send me over there to this wicked ass people, knowing damn well you're not gonna kill them on some mercy shit.
Because they're gonna end up
repenting. And he knew they was, but they was like, no, they need to die. Fuck that. And then they did exactly what he thought they was gonna do. And that's why the Lord had burnt him with the whole fire, put the little leaf up to give him shade, and then the shade didn't work no more, and then the Lord was making a point. Yeah, you jacked Jonah the fuck up. But Jonah was a little prideful a little bit. He's a little prideful a little bit.
Trying to hide from the Lord, like
he's a little prideful.
He's on the shit, but then he was like, "Yo, what's going on?" He was on the joint like,
Hold up, but Jonah was prideful. He was a spiritual prideful. Yeah. He knew exactly what the Lord was capable of. That's why he was so calm. But he knew the Lord was going. But he knows the mercy of the Lord. That's the whole point of Jonah for the reason why he was moving like that. He's like, all right, man, my bad, dog. I fucked y'all up because I'm the one that had drawn on the guy that created all this. They like, you gonna do that to him? Oh my gosh, all right, my fault. Yeah, that's what happened.
I swallowed by
Jonah's a banging ass
big
story.
Big ass fish, bro. Like, you in the belly of
a in that joint probably just like
damn.
Yeah, right. And then what did he do? And then what did he do? The same thing the whole thing is about. He repented and the Lord had mercy and got him out of it. Yep. That's the whole point of Jonah.
Heavy.
Beautiful. It's beautiful shit.
But the thing about it though, it's like he had a prideful spirit, but he wasn't coming from a place of wicked pride.
Not at all.
It was just like he was a righteous man.
Yeah, he was.
It's just he had a little ego.
Yeah.
And it was just like He's like, oh shit. It was like it's like you know your pop. It's like, so you respect your pop, listen to your pop.
Still going through
but you like, he's like, yo,
what Jonah did? This is spiritual. The bros got fun with this. You know what Jonah did? Jonah was on that boat, and shit started getting real. And I bet you Jonah was like, oh damn, the Lord drawing, damn. And he like, what's going on? Oh my God, Jonah like, damn, I fucked all these balls up. So yo, which one of y'all you mean? My fault, bro. It's me, because you know what I mean. My guy's the one that made y'all here and created all this shit. So
I went off.
That's my fault. He like, yo, what? And then once they found out that his guy was the one that created all this,
said, nah, you gotta go,
bro.
Yeah, bro.
You gonna forsake a guy like that? Like, yeah, they was like, no.
I don't even think they kicked him off. I think he jumped off.
I think he did. Yeah.
Like, so I'm gonna jump off, bro.
Yeah.
My bad, yo.
And then they became in calm waters. And then Jordan got ate up with the jaw. Yo, that shit, all that.
Scriptures is beautiful.
Beautiful shit.
When you read them from a different perspective, and you actually can see it for what it is. And especially because we also know that these men are Israelites.
And they Jake.
Right.
They Jake. That's what I mean. But we know that they are us, and we know how we are.
They not know.
It don't matter where you go in the world. We all are the same.
Right.
It could be a British speaker. Yo, what's up? It's we think the same, bro.
Right.
We move the same.
It's different cultures, bro.
It's different cultures.
Different
but we move
cultures.
The same spirit, bro.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know what Jonah did? Jonah was like, the Lord gave him the task. Jonah heard what it was. I gotta go in here. These bulls, man. Ain't nobody trying to deal with these bulls. I'm out. I ain't even going around that shit.
Those heathens.
I ain't even about to go ahead and say, the Lord like, okay, you want some draw shit? All right,
Yo,
good.
Johnny, you want to play?
You want to play? And then he knew what it was.
He like, damn, the Lord gonna fuck me.
Yeah.
But I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah.
Like Nineveh.
And he was righteous because he knew how wicked he was. He
Right.
knew they were wicked as shit. He's like, man, I'm not trying to go over there with these wicked ass niggas, dog.
I'm gonna just run, bro. I'm gonna just run.
That'd be so. You can't. The Lord's word don't go out void, man. Come on, this Sirach, this Sirach, and then you could grab that, bro.
Yeah,
This-
Proverbs 28.
Yup,
Yeah,
it's a Sirach 17:5 in the NL in Slocky in the GNT. It says the Lord gave them the five senses, but He also gave them a sixth, intelligence, and a seventh, reason, which enables them to interpret what comes to them through the senses. So reason enables them to interpret what comes to them through the senses. So that's discernment. That's what He gave Adam, and that's what Adam passed down to the sons of God, who are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know what I mean?
If you think about it too, you know what I mean? In this case scenario, why you think he went to the woman first? Because that serpent would have went to Adam. Adam be like, get the fuck out of my face, that bullshit.
Yeah, he might
I ain't
have.
going over there. Like, he knew that. Spiritually, like you could tell, all right, let me go to the weaker vessel.
Nope, I'm gonna pray on the woman.
Yeah.
Vessel,
He
And
knew because
that's
he knew
exactly
Adam was
what-
going to be like, nah.
That's exactly what Esau did in this society.
Exactly.
The
That's
same thing.
history
He
repeating
preyed
itself.
on the women. Feminist movement, because the feminist movement was targeted for the so-called Black Latino Native American women. Our women took that shit, ate it up, and these so-called white women are not feminists, bro. By y'all standards, they're not. Yeah, now maybe nowadays they're starting to become a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Cutthroat and shit, divorcing their husbands and all this. But in the general sense, when these white women get a good man, oh, they good women.
Oh, they are.
Because they service.
But when they got because we not gonna sit here and act like these white men are good husbands, because they not.
Yeah.
They ain't shit niggas, bro.
Right.
Just with pale skin.
Yeah, and privilege.
You know what I mean? And privilege. They treat their women like shit. Like when you like, bro. That's why their women are starting to venture off. But the point is, our women they preyed on our women to pretty much break up the family, because you can't prey on the men like that,
Right.
Because we're not gonna fall for that shit. So they had to destroy us, our people, a different way.
Right.
So they used the women to destroy the families, and then they used, like poverty, taking our women away from us,
Or give the woman
Give it
power.
giving
Yeah.
women power over
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
All these different things destroyed the man's persona.
Right.
He took
And they
up-
also emasculated our men, drugs and
Right.
war, and they gave us that crime life. And now our men are just hyper emotional. We see it every day. We see it every day when we work. We see it every day.
Every day.
And I was just saying that earlier. I was down before I left work earlier. I was just saying, I'm like, bro, this dude. I'm like, bro, these niggas is too emotional for me, bro. You say something to these little, I can't even call them men. You say something to these dudes, bro, and these dudes just ain't got no assertive and masculinity about themselves. You can just say something, have an opinion. What fuck you talking about, nigga?
Yeah, it's bad, bro.
Nah, fuck that, cause I ain't like, bro, why you so emotional, bro? Yo, what you mean I'm not leaving? Why am I going on this bus, man? Man, fuck, all right, watch this. Like, bro, why you so damn emotional, bro? You
Right.
going, like, yo.
That's what they say. You know what they say, bro? You mix Esau, a so-called white man, with the Israelite woman, you get the young nigga, the YN. You know what I mean, bro? They like y'all, just to land back on what y'all just said, bro. They literally took our glory. The glory of the man is what? The woman.
Yep.
He did that, and then they hit us financially.
Cause think about it. If we had our women in order, right? Where you gonna say 95% of our women were on point. They were good women. We had good families. We came from, we had a good, loving mother in a home. We had a strong, caring father, right? Strong but caring, because men are soft. That's the thing. True femininity makes masculine men soft. When I say soft, I don't mean weak, but like we're gentle.
Very controlled.
Gentle. I should say that's a better word.
It's very controlled.
Gentle. Feminine women make masculine men gentle.
Mm-hmm. And at the time they need to be.
At the times when we need to be.
Yeah.
Because when you got a good woman and she's affectionate, because it's law. Love your woman like you love yourself.
Yeah, I call it the Betty effect.
Yeah.
Betty is with Hawk. Got this little ass, tiny little human that can control his big ass.
It's
all because of femininity.
That's their superpower, bro.
So if we had that loving household, and the young women were raised to be just like their mothers, and men were raised by their mothers and fathers to emulate their father, I'm telling you, you would not see YNs. That wouldn't be a thing. It would be an anomaly. If you see a nigga that's a YN, it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It'd be like walking down the street, you see a YN, everybody here is turning like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta get this nigga out of here.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's normal.
Normal shit. Yeah, man.
So
yeah, man.
That's a product of the environment. So if our women wasn't in order, there would be less crime. If all men could have a good woman, it would be less crime, bro. Why? Because you want to stay out the way, bro.
Like the average man be like, yo, what's up with you? I'm going to the crib, dog, man. I'm going to show you, man, like, make this meal.
Yeah, like, you know you about to go home to you know you about to go home to a loving environment, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you won't want to be home. Like, yo, my shorty, bro, she be making the most glamorous, bro. I come home, bro, most of us never experienced this shit before.
Not at all. It's made that way.
You see it on like the Coming to America effect.
Yup. Proverbs 28:14.
Okay.
Like the Coming to America effect. You see how he woke me on the beginning of the movie? He woke up.
Yeah.
What am I going to do today? You know what I mean? Just happy because you ain't got no stresses. But this society was pinned against us. So now, but this is all the Most High is doing, is using America as a tool, a two-edged tool, right? On one end, it's judgment for the wicked of our people, right? To condemn them and destroy them on the side. And then on the other end, it's that you said, that purging of that leaven of our spirits.
Okay.
To what?
Yep.
To build us up.
Right.
To be future kings and rulers in the world to come.
Damn, real quick.
So that we feel like we earned that, right? It's a badge of our honor. It's our accolade, like, yo, I lived righteously in a wicked world.
Real quick, bro. Second Chronicles 7:14.
Wow.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Big word. If we were just going into, we had the proper household that we had in the 50s and early 60s before the women's suffrage movement, before civil rights was compromised. You know what I'm saying? Before them small hats infiltrated the civil rights and all that, bro. This is what happened. But that wasn't prophecy. You know what I mean? What it say about the land of the Gentiles should be trodden down first or something like roughly paraphrasing in Luke. I think it's in Luke or something like that.
But you know what though? It's definitely against prophecy because time after time in history, we already seen too many times in history that if you leave Jake alone, they're going to thrive. We did it in Egypt. We did it we flee from Roman persecution. We went to the west side of Africa. What we do? We thrived because we did our own little thing. It became a big joy. And we had Pharaoh bitching. Yeah. And then fucking in Egypt when the boy tried to go kill the firstborns, and they end up not doing it, and then Lord multiplied us and made us even more scattered. Like we always built for tough. So it just come with that little territory on how all that shit work. I'm bringing Proverbs 28.
You got it, bro.
Yes, Proverbs 28. I'm starting at I think the point was in 14. So I'm starting at 12. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth sin shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Here's the point. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeth his heart shall fall into mischief.
Happy is the man that fear the Lord, fear the Lord.
Yeah.
We happy that we fear the Lord. So basically, what a prudent man foreseeth the evil, and he hideth himself.
Yeah.
Right? We in that time now. Akim, y'all know, like, yo, it's sifting season.
Yeah.
The list of Purging progress. You know what I'm saying, brothers?
Yeah.
That whole group that just was basically disowning the name Yahushua, and they was upholding the J word. I don't even like saying that shit no more.
Sakari brothers, man, going down hard, bro. It's a lot of heat going in Sakari. And you know what, too? Off the strength, not to get off topic, Apostle Tahar kind of called this shit.
Called it, bro.
Yeah.
He called it, like the dismantling of the camps, man. He kind of called it, bro.
Cause he's been around for a
long time. He saw shit move.
Time. He's seen camps come and go.
Oh, yeah.
Dozens of times over.
Yeah, 'cause they split.
He's seen men rise. He's seen men fall.
Right.
So he has experience. So when he speaks about these things, I don't take them lightly.
Yeah, like, yo.
Like he's seen like, yo, these guys, especially when you see these guys come up, like, yo, bro, they puffed up. I can see it. It's like an air balloon, bro.
Yo.
It's going it gets too big to a point. It's going to pop.
Yup.
You got to get to a certain level and kind of just maintain that. I think that's where the apostles got. The apostles got to a certain level within their stature and everything, and they kind of just maintained that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They thorough, bro. They thorough.
They're very level.
Yeah, they thorough,
it's like,
bro.
nah, I'm not trying to do no more than this. This right here is like what's necessary.
They got more humility, just as much humility as wisdom, bro.
Yeah.
Because they know that's the ultimate balance.
But then their barks are very prominent
Heavy
and very
prominent.
very sharp. Like, yo, one of the prominent things look,
Look,
one of the most prominent things Apostle Tahar ever said that was so thorough on topic too is, and these prophecies that we coming across. He ain't got to poop. Pig. Oh, he want to take the dog out. He good money.
You know what's crazy? I
forgot.
forgot.
Bro.
I forgot he was here, bro.
I did.
He was up there
He didn't
quiet,
bark
bro.
or nothing, bro.
Because he a chill young boy.
He didn't bark
Yeah,
or nothing.
Salaki.
I literally forgot you had a dog, bro.
Yeah,
Salakia.
Just like I gotta use that.
I gotta get my young boy.
Salakia, bro.
But yeah, yo, the most prominent thing Apostle Hart ever said, yo, was thorough, and break the knee. He said, watch. He said exactly this. He said, watch. In the end, when the end starts coming around, he said, when he said GMS, which is cool, it's all good. Watch when GMS start getting spiritual power. All the most brothers in different camps are going to chalk where they at and go to GMS. But like, okay, that makes sense because that's 110 Psalms 110-3. But at the same time, though, it's like, damn. Like, that just makes a lot of sense.
But
look what's happening, though.
Because a lot of these mainstream camps count Great Millstone and they're
Jesus.
following out.
Yeah,
Because they think,
yeah.
oh, they too hard.
Right.
They this, they that.
Call them on Jesus now, switching the game up.
Even
right?
the elders will
There's
tell
so
you,
much shit going on.
Even the elders will tell you it was just a name. The apostles of Great Millstone.
Right.
They doing the work of the Lord.
Right.
The Lord is he's been dealing with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So by default, if they have an organization and you're following their tutelage, the Lord is. That's why they say the Lord's dealing with GMS. It's not saying the Lord's dealing with the Great Millstone name,
Right.
But it's the elders
It's
and
the
apostles
men.
because they're the ones that are actually following in the stead of the Lord.
Yeah.
The best, I should say.
Right.
Yeah.
So therefore, their follow after them in the Lord. It's a tutelage system.
You have to agree, man.
It's like that's why they say it. So when you're younger in the faith, when you're coming from an emotional standpoint, oh, the Lord don't dealing with GMS, what camping, emotional. But then when you actually sit there and think about it, and mind you, we are not in GMS camp.
Oh.
So we're saying this from complete unbiased. It's just they have the most sound doctrine, and not even just doctrine.
Breakdown.
They have the most sound
Wisdom.
what's the way I can put this?
Squad.
I don't want to say lifestyle, but
Or don't even say
just
sense. You can't even say that. It's just too thorough.
sound, bro.
Bro, it's spot on, bro.
Bro, dude, what does it say?
It's
Scripture,
spiritually break that. Yo, that shit's spot on, bro.
Scripture say through the fear of the Lord we persuade men.
Yeah.
They persuaded brothers.
Right.
That's under them, and then those brothers, it's like it's a bunch of brothers that came in 2007 and so on and so forth that are elders now, and they passed that down and persuaded men through fear, a healthy fear.
Right. And
you just brought out Proverbs 28.
Yeah.
It's a health. You know what I mean, what it say? Happy is the man that feareth always.
Yeah.
That's a healthy fear
And
we have for the
I
Lord.
think a lot of these camps don't harp on the fear of the Lord. The Apostle of Great Millstone, they harp so heavily on the fear.
Right.
They always going into judgment because
Yeah.
that is the fear. The
Right.
scriptures makes it very clear. The beginning, Psalms 110.
Yeah.
I believe the fear, or at 111. Is it one
One of them too, but
It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Beautiful, bro.
because it puts you on your toes.
So
Exactly.
literally,
It's something to gain knowledge.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot have wisdom before having fear.
Not at all.
You have to have fear of the Lord first.
Because
And
wisdom
why?
will give you. It's gonna.
Fear comes what? Obedience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But peep this
Obedience
though.
comes-
Think about this in sports in a general sense. Too much confidence lacks what? Fear.
Right.
So without too much confidence, make you a bigger ego and more
And
pride.
it makes you
can't-
less cautious.
Right, and then boom, boom. It's boom.
It
boom.
makes you less cautious. You see
Right.
it. You combat. I watch MMA. Right. I'm a big UFC fan. Whenever you see a fighter get a little too cocky,
It goes down.
they get knocked out.
They get knocked out for sure.
The reason why is because on paper you might be the better striker.
Right.
And it's usually the fancy guys, like the ones that do all the crazy spinning heel kicks and
Right.
throwing knees and elbows. Like
Right.
it looks really good.
Mhm.
Then they're getting real aggressive and fast, and then the guy that they're fighting is just real technical. He's not. I'm not looking for pretty. It's technical. Everything's
Right.
tight. It's
He
sharp.
liable to see a punch and go, oh shit!
He's going like this.
He'll
Yeah,
dip it or
and
some fear shit and then swing with a routine counter
Yup.
and catch the ball.
And catch him knocked out
Yup.
because you was overconfident.
Yep, there you go.
So we always want to make sure we're in a place where there's a very fine line between having confidence in the Lord and fearing the judgment of the Lord.
Mhm.
You don't ever want to be too far on either side. You want to have a balance because if you fear the Lord too much to the point where you live to a fault, and when I say fear the Lord to a fault too much, the scripture said, "Be not over righteous, neither be over wicked." It makes it very clear. Fearing the Lord will make you over righteous. Being over righteous will cause you to what? Burn out. You start to neglect areas of your life that did not need neglecting. You start to live in a way that is too extreme to the point where it's not sustainable. It might work for a year or two, but the Lord might have you here for 15 years. God forbid it.
Yeah.
But the Lord could do whatever He wants. We can very well be here in Babylon for 15, 20 years if the Lord wanted to.
You know what? Another
We
thing-
pray not, but guess
Yeah.
what? You have to have that you have to be in the balance between fearing the Lord and having confidence in the Lord.
Confidence,
Meaning,
yeah.
when I say that, I mean by the way you move. Like I try to live my life in that middle as much as possible. Because on one hand, I'm cautious about the things I do when I'm out and about. Like I work in Center City, Philadelphia. I just recently started to catch public transport, to catch the train downtown because it's faster. It's less. Gas is so damn expensive now, and it's just so cheaper and more convenient. And I get home and to work faster hopping on the train. The train rides like 18 minutes. And then my work, literally, as soon as I get off the train, my job is right there. So it takes me 25 minutes to get home versus when I drive home, it's like 50 minutes.
Okay.
When I drive to work, it's 40 minutes. 12 miles, 13 miles, and hella gas. Hop on a train for free. So, because of my job, I get free transportation. So, I've been catching a train, and I know Philly and SEPTA, there's a crime on SEPTA, which is Philly's public transportation center, is very prominent.
Yeah.
There's so much crime that happens on SEPTA.
On September, yeah.
So I move like I'm watching over my shoulder. You know what I mean? I'm not walking around with my head in my phone. I'm you know what I mean? I'm very observant about my shit and my surroundings. That's the fear aspect, understanding that, the Lord can allow any judgment to happen to me anytime, right?
Right.
The Lord can allow these things to happen. Granted, I have my own training and skills and stuff but you get caught, bro. It don't matter. I don't care what you do. You can be John fucking Wick. You get caught, you caught, bro. Somebody see you before you see them, you're caught.
Yeah, drop on you, yeah.
So it don't matter how skilled you are. You can be the greatest fighter in the world, the sharpest shooter in the world, the fastest draw. But if somebody catch you 1-2 seconds before you can even see them, it's a wrap.
Right, yeah.
So that's the fear aspect. Understanding that the Lord can let judgment happen to me, right? Whether it's for my destruction or for my correction, who knows? But at the same time, I also walk with confidence, knowing like, you know what, bro? I'm doing the work of the Lord. I'm calling on the name of the Lord. I'm saying my prayers. I'm praying to the Lord constantly. And I'm not living like it's like a certain level of like righteous pride. Like, yo, you gotta give yourself a little credit. Like, yo, I'm not living like these people.
Right.
I'm serving the Lord.
We not regular, bro.
I'm not
We're
regular. Like,
regular
yo,
men.
you have to. But you have to like you have to find this balance for you and how it works for you.
You didn't give us the spirit of fear, love, peace, and
Second Timothy
sound
five.
mind. Bro.
So you,
bro, that's facts, bro.
So you have to move like, like you. Sometimes you gotta move a little overconfident, but never to a point where you let your guard down.
Right.
That's I think where the balance comes into play.
What King David say in House of David when his pop finally let him go to the battlefield? He heard Goliath talking crazy about the Lord.
Yeah.
He said, "Who is this man?
He said,
blaspheming the name of the Holy God."
He said, "Y'all just gonna let him blaspheme the name of the Lord?"
He said,
"Why ain't nobody challenge him?"
Right? How long has he been doing this? He said, "What are you gonna go fight him, Dave? Yo, ain't nobody believing him."
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's Hebrews 2:1. It's titled "Give Heed." Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. The Lord know us, because he know that Jacob's forgetful. That's why the truth, through the elders and through everybody through the truth we've learned, the truth is repetitive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Jacob's forgetful. You know what I mean? We got what does it say?
That's the whole point of the fringes.
Romans 15:4.
That's really the whole point of friendship.
Right.
Because we forgetful.
Yep.
The things written aforetime are written for our learning.
Yeah.
How many times we done went over Proverbs, bro?
Yeah.
Matthew,
Right.
as a group, and then just dialogue.
Yeah.
Bro, I just read Proverbs again. Like I read
You
Proverbs.
was the one that said you read like that.
So look, I have a rotation. I read the way I read the scriptures, and I read something historical or prophetical, right? So like right now I'm reading through Kings, 2 Kings, right? So I'm trying to finish I'm trying to finish the whole Bible, like basically again. But from another. Sometimes you gotta read again to get a better understanding.
Yeah.
Because my level of understanding and knowledge has increased over these years, I'm reading again. So the way I'm reading is I'm reading from front to back. But what I do is I read one chapter. So I'm in Kings now. I'm reading that, but then I'm pairing that with something wisdom. So I just read Proverbs. So now I'm reading Wisdom of Solomon. So once I finish Wisdom of Solomon, I'm gonna probably jump over to Sirach. And then once I'm done Sirach, I might jump over to like Psalms or something.
Yeah, I read the book of Psalms.
Or I might jump over to like Matthew. So I'm doing that. And then guess what? Once I get done all the books that I think are wisdom based, I jump right back, start over Proverbs again. And I just keep that going.
Yeah.
So it's repetitive. So I'm gonna have read Proverbs and Sirach and Wisdom of Solomon 30 times. But guess what? It's going to be to the point where I'm trying to embody wisdom. Like when you read Proverbs, I'm just reading, I think it was, no, not Proverbs, 1 Kings, 3rd chapter. When Solomon first became king, the Lord came to him in a dream and was like, yo, tell me what you want. He was like, mind you, this was Solomon was young. He was like, yo, tell me what you want. He was like, look, you done made me king, and I'm just a little boy. So I'm just a little baby, and you made me king. Make me like unto my father. Like he said, give me wisdom and knowledge to understand things and to lead. And the Lord was,
lead the nation.
Yeah,
right.
the Lord was very pleased with this. He said, because you didn't ask for glory and riches and women and all this stuff. He said, because of that, I'm going to give you what you asked for. I'm going to give you wisdom and knowledge of all things. And I'm going to give you riches and glory.
I'm going to give you everything you didn't ask for.
I'm going to give you everything you didn't ask for.
Heavy, bro.
And then that's the same chapters when Solomon has first test as a ruler, where the woman with the baby, the two women with the baby, the one that died, and in the middle of the night, she took the baby and replaced it with the living baby. And then when they woke up, the lady was like, yo, it's not my baby.
Right.
And they went to Solomon, and Solomon was like,
Yo, just cut, what he say?
He said, all right, how about this? Just cut the baby in half and split it.
And y'all both can have
And
it.
y'all both can have a half. The mom of the living baby was like, just give her the baby. I don't want you to cut my baby in half. Just let her have it. If that's what it takes, just let her have the baby. And then the lady was like, no, like let's split it. Let's split it. Because she knew her baby was already dead. So she had nothing to lose.
Right.
She said, no, let's split the baby.
Baby,
And then Solomon was like, give her the baby. She's the mother. And then all the people was amazed, like, damn,
Right.
wow, this is
He
fun.
finagle the game in this to get the truth out.
And the people look.
That's
and
some
the
wisdom ass.
people, and the people marveled at Solomon. That's how they be doing it. Like,
Yep.
That was some
And they feared him.
smooth. I ain't
Right.
read that yet.
Yeah.
That's smooth.
Yep.
I like how he did that.
Solomon was. he was a
That's how you
bad
get
boy.
he got the truth without even having to ask.
Yeah.
He said, all right, how about this?
He
Let's
got it
cut
in
the
the-
baby in half, and y'all can split the baby. You get one half, you get one half.
Like you said, the
The
scriptures.
real mom.
The real mom.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to
No,
kill
because her
him
baby
more.
was alive. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
kill
I'm
my
killing
my
him
baby.
more.
I'd rather my baby live than
Yeah,
die
yeah.
and not have my baby. But the lady, her baby was already dead, so she had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nah, we can cut it in half.
Right. And then Solomon found out who the real mom
He
was.
was
Like,
like,
I'll get the baby to
Yeah,
her.
baby.
Let's
She's
do that.
the real mother.
But like you said, the Lord came to him in a dream.
Yep.
So he woke up like, yo, just cut that joint in half.
Yep. He just had to. He just
Alright,
had
yeah,
to
give
visit
it
the
to
mother.
her.
That
He didn't even
His
like he didn't even have to
problem-solving
think
game
about
was
it, bro.
retarded.
Gave him a new spirit, like
Bro, he had like AI level of fucking
like,
AI level
yeah.
of con-
That's
you know how
what
you put some shit in like ChatGPT
Yeah.
and it'd be like searching.
point
Yeah,
point
he had
zero
that,
zero
yeah.
one seconds.
He was his own ChatGPT,
He was
bro.
his own ChatGPT.
That's
bro.
some real
Yo,
shit.
This shit was just like,
Lord, he probably had access to 100% of his brain,
Bro,
bro. Like, you never know.
You know what it says? It actually says that he had knowledge of the stars, how biology worked, how
Bro,
things grow.
he
He knew all that shit.
bro, everything, bro. He knew everything.
He knew. It probably was the smartest motherfucker ever lived his whole life.
I mean,
in human mankind at this point, besides Yahweh Shah, because Yahweh Shah
Well, yeah.
was the walking word. So you know what I'm saying?
The physical incarnation
Carnation
of Yahweh.
yeah, so yeah, probably besides, but then again, Solomon is also low key Yahweh. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
that's
that's right.
yeah, Solomon is Yahweh Shah on the low,
Yeah.
so that's a
Can't
little
forget
too
can't forget about Daniel, man. I forget
Daniel was a bad
but I
boy too,
forget-
though.
I forget what verse it was. I was trying to find it, but it's cool. I'm gonna just roughly paraphrase it.
Daniel was
They
a bad
basically,
boy.
when they changed their names and he interpreted the dream, before he did it, there was this described Daniel like, yeah, the Lord gave Daniel, it's in the NLT, and you look into the blue letter, said they gave him intelligence beyond, yo, it was crazy how
really?
they described it, bro. It's basically spiritual power. What Solomon had, what King David, what Daniel had, what Joseph had, bro. Like to be able to interpret dreams, like
That's a
like,
whole
bro,
that's a whole gift
crazy, bro.
that's a whole gift in Corinthians interpretation of dreams. It's a whole gift. That's a whole specific
Going
gift.
into the gifts and the parts of it. We went into that Saturday. Going into the
being
different
able
gifts.
being able to read something and break it down to very small, simple details.
Yeah, like
We just talking about. He had that ability.
he did have that ability.
Shalawami has that
He
ability.
does got that ability. Yo, it's a couple precepts I was lost on. Shalawami, I read it to him one time. Shalawami was like, oh, what it's saying? Then it does. Oh shit. And I'm like, oh, all right, bet. Like, damn. All right. But
I think I found
was it X1730? That's the one, John. Like where like as an Israelite 101 with a low level John, you definitely in the truth. You can break down that the dry tree to the green tree.
Yeah.
If you can read that one time, you're like, oh, all right, I know what that is.
Yeah.
we pretty much hit the point. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So I mean, good man. We'll see. We'll close up.
I can hit this Hebrews 10 and 23. It says, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. Damn, there go that word provoke again. Mm-hmm. So while the Lord is provoking us to keep us on our toes, he wants us to provoke each other righteously unto love and good works, that charity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Casting burdens on each other. You know, open rebuke better than secret love type shit, man.
That's why we always
iron sharpen iron.
We always pushing each other. Like we be on, bro. Like check, bro. Yo, bro, you handled that? Nah, yo, bro, bullshit, bro.
Bullshit.
Right? It's like,
And it's
bro,
not like we We bullying. It's like, bro, I want to see the best for you.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't give a fuck about you, I wouldn't even have asked you.
Yeah,
and if I say, yo, did you ever schedule a test? Nah, something, you can give an excuse. Nah, something. Somebody who don't give a fuck would just say, oh, all right.
What bro say the other day? This was yesterday, the day before. That's how you know you've been reading. Early 6 o'clock in the morning, Shalom Agim. Yo, make sure y'all getting y'all reading in. Probably just got done reading. Brothers may be reading already.
I was on the train. I was on the.
You know what I mean?
I got a whole little routine, bro.
Shout out to you, bro. I read the scriptures ridiculously riding the train. That was my shit. Now I read the scriptures down in the back of the bus now.
Yeah.
So I read the book of Psalms all the way through. I'm on Psalm 94, 95. It's fucking phenomenal. Oh my,
I've been learning
my little new joint is Psalm 94. Nobody peeped in 94.
Let's close out with it, bro.
It's not. No. It's basically the time of the Lord.
Okay.
Just like 2 Peter 3. I thought that was the only one. But it talks about how 1,000 years to the Lord goes by like it was yesterday. Shit.
That's how you know these scriptures is literally songs. Like, you know how a song is can stand the test of time. You go back and hear a classic album from these so-called poets today. You hear something different in that song. Like, damn, he said that. That's the scriptures, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 years. 1,000 years is like the past as of yesterday. God damn.
Yeah, bro.
To the Lord, though.
That's another example. Yep, a day of the Lord.
Like, damn. That's why, and also according to what we going into, you know what I'm saying, we at the end times, and which is not a good thing, or which we can't control, that the fact that we at the end of this thing is crazy to be falling out. Right. But then again, what's beautiful is, I think it's that same scriptures that blesses those men. Oh, remember Acts 1? I think it's Acts 1. I'm not sure. But remember, blesses those men who actually get to be at the end and see that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like, and crazy part about it is, them brothers desired it. But then again, we're at that time frame that they never saw.
We actually, Lord willing, we're actually going to see. So like, you have our ancestors that prophesy, like Joel. Right. Joel saw the destruction of America.
He saw that shit. Yeah, he saw the missiles, saw all that.
John the Revelator saw the destruction of America, and he saw the gates of the kingdom. But we're gonna stick to the destruction of America.
Esdras too.
Ezra saw the Jacob's trouble.
144,000, the ceremony, the crown and joints, so all that shit.
We're actually gonna physically live through and witness.
Yeah, Lord willing.
We're gonna be a personal witness to the destruction of Babylon, bro. So we're gonna walk around the kingdom like, yo, bro. Oh, I was there.
Right.
We Lord willing, we are those men. We're gonna be those men that stood stiff for the name.
Yeah, I was there. You're gonna have the heathen and stuff that looking at go to our museums that we built for them and shit, and they gonna be like, the destruction of Babylon. I'm like, and we're gonna walk in there, John. I was there.
I was there. Yo, you know what's thorough? Yo, Joe, remember, Apostle said what we know now, though, that all these prophet brothers had no idea what the fuck they looking at. They don't know what they looking at. And we reading this shit, like when you read Joel 2 and be in modern times, you're like, yo, is he
he's just explaining. He explained what he see. He like, it was a fire before it, and a flame, it was. I mean, and the land was like already Eden, but as soon as it hit, it was like the destruction behind it.
So as a regular man, we like, is he strapping a missile or a bomb or some shit? Like we can literally know how to explain what he's talking about.
Like, he said, I mean, it was like a horse. It was like a horse,
right?
And
look, peep this shit though. What happens when that joint go up too high and it come down? It come down with that little flame of fire and it gulps around it like fucking a lion. That's what he saw.
If we those men, I got this noted. I think I got it from the elder Yashawamba. It says, if we those men, we slaves in our own creation to our servants.
Yep.
If we are those men, we're slaves to our creation. Two servants created to serve us. Yep. That's crazy. Lord,
it's
humbling, bro.
Is it like doing it to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we technically did.
Yeah, in a way, if we be those angels,
if we be those men
that created,
Right.
all things.
We're slaves.
We
We're
literally
slaves
did.
to the things that we were a part of
creation.
And that's
Yeah.
why it says and their work shall follow them, righteous and wicked.
These chains of darkness.
Everlasting
We fell
chains of
from our
darkness.
first estate.
Oh yeah, but you are gods, but you shall fall like men.
Ah,
That's
bro.
some crazy shit.
That's heavy.
All right,
Yeah.
so I believe that was it. Lord willing, you
Okay,
brothers
we
and
need to
sisters
hit
were edified.
The comment board too.
It's all good. I couldn't
Yeah.
even see it. Shalom to you, brothers on the comment
Shalom.
board.
Shalom, shalom.
So, like, if we couldn't answer the question, I'm gonna go back and hit the chat. But Lord willing, this is edifying. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, bro.